Alright, this is the trade recap for today's trade, Tuesday, March 3rd, 2026. I ended up taking one half-size loss. It was preventable if I just held the trade, but yeah, let's just go straight to it. So yesterday I ended up taking no trades. We shot up higher. We did have good draws. We did have obvious draws on liquidity, but I could not find my entry model. And ideally, after the New York session opened, we had a huge move up, and the most ideal trade setup would be a continuation long, but I couldn't find one. There was no value retracements in my opinion, and so no trades. Simple as that. Anyways, today when I logged on, I noticed that we had a 4-hour. We I noticed that from Asia session to London session, we basically reversed all the gains we did from yesterday's trading day, and so we didn't end up printing any bullish candles up until 6 o'clock. So then the first thing I saw off the bat on the 4-hour time frame was this 4-hour on top gap, and then I saw this little retracement leg, and then I zoomed out to see what we manipulated, and I noticed that we formed a bullish SMT with weekly lows. And so I zoom into the lower time frames. As you can see, we inversed these higher time frame fair value gaps, so obviously leaning towards being a little bit more bearish. Okay, on the 1 hour time frame, we see a lot more things that helps us piece together what we want to see going into market open and form our bias. So we see that we have, so after taking out weekly lows and forming a bullish SMT, ES took it out, NQ didn't. We tapped into this 1 hour gap and formed London highs. And so this is a high resistance draw on liquidity and something that I'm looking for a price to manipulate and react off of. And that's what ended up happening. And so pretty much I was bearish on the day, but just by looking at market structure, obviously, ideally we would want to come back into equilibrium before moving down or lower. But knowing or seeing where this draw on liquidity is, what I want to see is manipulate these 1 hour highs and then move lower and take out session lows. So that was my bias going into the day. And yeah, so moving on to the 15-minute time frame, you can see that market opened and we immediately took out these London highs. And so that is when I was looking for a short entry, right? Even though it was pre-macro, we did what I wanted to see happen. We manipulated the highs. We're in hourly gap. So what I wanted to see was us inverse, or inverse the highest time frame value gap, reject the 1 hour time frame and show reaction off the London highs. So that's what I was looking for right off the bat. And right off the bat, we formed this 2-minute gap, this 2-minute IFEG setup, and I wanted to see us inverse this for my entry. So I would ideally want to take an entry here, set my stop loss at the constant correction, or like close to the highs over there, because we don't really want to see that be revisited, because we did manipulate high resistance strong liquidity. And then I want to set my TP to session lows, and that would have been a nice, 2-hour trade. But the market doesn't always go as you want or as you predict. We ended up edging this 2-minute this 2-minute fair value gap, then resweeping the highs. And I didn't take the first double 1-minute IFG setup. I wanted more confirmation, and then I ended up taking the trade where we inversed this 2-minute finally. So I did it was a lower entry and a lower RR, but I set my highs, my stop loss there, and my TP to session low. So that would have been a nice, 1 to 1.2. And I'm okay with that. That's a good, strong displacement in IFG setup. Obviously, we had a 3-minute gap here, but I thought this 2-minute displacement was good, and we're getting good rejection off of this high. And on the 15-minute candle closure, you can see clear rejection. And so what ended up happening is ES was going a bit lower and a little bit faster than NQ, and I noticed that we were going to take out session lows. So as soon as an ES ended up taking session lows, I went break even, and I wasn't in green much, as the price was probably around here, and so I went break even and got immediately stopped out maybe like a minute later. And okay, I have a a trading limit on Top Step where I can only take 2 trades a day. So I was being very cautious as what my next trade could be. I don't want to take a dumb setup. So the next obvious trade for me was this 3-minute IFEG, and we ended up inversing this. I took a position, set my stop loss at these highs over here. Now there's no more, in my opinion, there was no more obstacles or roadblocks like fair value gaps or order blocks for price to have to push through in order for us to go lower and to take out session lows. And since this is very close to 10 a.m. open, or right around 10 a.m. open, I was really expecting price to distribute to the draws and liquidity instead of chop around, which we did. It's unfortunate because we did chop around. I did have good psychology. I didn't, what do you call it? I didn't exit my trade prematurely in the sense that, or with the mindset of, oh, I'm taking a loss. But I did exit prematurely after I noticed that there was chop, and a lot of times my mistakes do come from trading in chop or holding within chop because price action is less probable during those circumstances. And so I just realized, okay, if we really want to take out these what do you call session lows, then we would have done so by now. We had multiple IPG setups. We had 30 seconds, 1 minute, 2 minutes, and even the 3 minute now. So I understood that this is less probable conditions. I got out for a half size loss, around here, and it is what it is. Not too upset. It would have been 1-to-1 RR, and not maybe like 2 minutes after I got out I got out prematurely for like a half size loss. Price is dumping straight to TP. It is what it is. I mean, that only means we're getting closer and closer to profitability, right? We're consistently reading, or what do you call it, getting the bias right, and changing our bias if we have to accordingly. And yeah, we're using these confluences properly. We're having good discipline. We're not entering too prematurely. We have good risk management. We're not full porting trades like I used to. And yeah, I mean, ultimately took out high resistance, strong liquidity, rejected the hourly gap, took out London highs, formed a bearish S&T. I don't know how much more confidences you can get to get such a good trade like this. This is like a really good setup. Um, really textbook setup. Just the distribution, or the, what do you call it? The execution of the trade wasn't that good, but it is what it is. The markets aren't always gonna present 10 out of 10 A plus executions. But yeah, I'm just gonna journal this trade, see what else I can learn from this, and yeah, go into tomorrow's trading session with a positive mindset. And that's pretty much it for today.